So today I'm going to show you a technique that the Beatles used back in the day on some of their tracks to create more excitement in their tracks. Now today, as producers, we are very spoiled. Anything that we want to do, we can just do in a couple clicks. But back in the day, that wasn't the case. Everything was recorded onto tape. There's a lot of outboard gear. And to get certain effects, you had to really think creatively. We just don't have to do that anymore. And it can be easily done in just a DAW package. So that DAW life that you live right now, blessed. But the technique I'm talking about here is the Beatles used to use the speed playback of a tape machine to create more excitement in their tracks. So if they adjust the speed on the tape machine, they would essentially be upping the tempo a little bit and the pitch as well. Thus, it equals more excitement in the track. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now in Logic Pro. In a couple scenarios, you can add more excitement or give it that chopped and screwed effect that you hear on a lot of hip hop beats. Let's get to it. So over here, we're going to go through a couple different examples, but first we got to turn on that feature. It's not there by default, so we have to go ahead and load that in. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and bring in the Vary Speed effect in Logic Pro. To bring that up in the transport bar over here, you're going to hit this arrow, this drop down. We're going to go to Customize Control Bar and Display. In this LCD block, we're going to go ahead and hit this drop down and go to Custom. And we're going to make sure that Vary Speed is set up. Now we can go ahead and save this for every session that we load up. If you want to, you just go ahead and save as default, and this will be your default transport bar. If you don't, you can just leave it as is just to see how it is. So now that we got Vary Speed loaded up, let's go ahead and just preview this first beat over here. So to start things off, over here we are on speed only. A couple different modes of Vary Speed. Speed only simply adjust the tempos. If you want to get it faster or slower, you'd hit speed only. Vary Speed, speed and pitch adjust the tempo, faster or slower, as well as the pitch as well. So if it's playing faster, the pitch is going to go higher. And if it's playing slower, the pitch is going to go lower. So I'm going to go ahead and select Vary Speed and pitch. And if we go ahead and just do this modestly at 10%, so a 10% faster tempo, this is what it sounds like. And off. On. And finally off. Wait for it. So you can automatically hear what it's doing to your track there. It's creating more excitement because we're going a little bit faster and the pitch is going up as well. Now it's not drastically changing the key. It's sort of like an in-between key thing. Sort of instead of going up by semitones, it's going up by cents because it's going a little bit faster. But let's go ahead and go to the other side of the spectrum. Let's say we want to slow down our song and give it sort of that sampled vibe that you hear on a lot of sampled hip hop beats. You know, from the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s. This was sort of a technique that was used as well. When they went to go ahead and sample a record, they would change the playback of the record player to give the song a different texture and tone to it. And as soon as I do it, you're going to know what I mean. So here is a sample right over here. Let's find a good section. And there's no one else I know can taste. Maybe we'll go from there. Can take your place. So I'm going to turn on Vary Speed, but instead going up, we're going to go down. And I'm going to go down pretty, not too drastic, but a nice amount, and you're going to hear what I mean right now. Can take your place. You sort of get that slowed down pitched effect that you hear on a lot of hip hop beats. Can take your place. Right, so this was a technique that a lot of hip hop producers used to get this effect, changing the speed of the record player or the tape machine to get this sound. So if you ever wondered why a sample may sound a little bit different on your favorite hip hop beat, it's probably because the speed and pitch of the sample was changed ever so slightly that it's not exactly the same as the original song. Just because it was sped up and played a little bit faster, it became that way, or it sped a little bit, or it's not sped, it slowed a little bit down, and that's why I got that effect as well. So this is how they did it. Now, one thing to point out, you can't just go ahead and bounce out your stems by going File Export, because the vari-speed information won't be printed onto your stems. The way you gotta do it is bounce it out this way, every individual track, so that you have that cool effect that was used by the Beatles and many hip hop producers from the late 80s, 90s, 2000s, even today. This effect is used, and you can redo it in Logic Pro using the vari-speed function. Other than that, if you do have any questions on this, we can go and chat in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.